See the face on the billboard. Well, that man is me. On the cover of the magazine. There's no question why I'm smiling. You buy a piece of paradise, you buy a piece of me. I'll get you everything you wanted.
Good morning. The time is 8:23. Lots of sunshine here in downtown Wausau from our WXCO studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street, 72 degrees. And again, a beautiful start here on this Tuesday. I am Chad Holmes along with Ian Welsh. It is the WXCO Morning Report, part of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow here on 98.9 WXCO. And that's our Chris Conley theme. And I got to say congratulations to our compatriot across the way, down the street here in downtown Wausau, Chris Conley.
What's the occasion?
Well, it's twofold. And people who are tuned in the last segment, listening to our conversation with Pat Kreitlow as I joined him in the 8:06 segment on Tuesday and Thursday mornings around the state of Wisconsin, mentioned the fact that word came down yesterday that the WSAU morning show is changing. And, of course, we keep an eye on what happens down the street because they keep an eye on what we're doing here down the street as well. But it was a little surprising to see that longtime morning show host Meg Ellefson had decided to step away, explore new opportunities after a long and we have to say successful run. I mean, it may not be what people want to hear. It may not be what's good, I think, for our community. It may not be always what I think is the most truthful, but bottom line is if you're in the radio business and you have listenership and you bring in the folks, then it's got to be considered successful. And
I guess.
And she was well rated during the course of her time. So congratulations on that. And best of luck to Meg in whatever she decides to do. But the thing that I was kind of curious about when I heard this is what direction WSAU would go in. Because WSAU has been a talk leader in this community for a very long time. But I would say in the last especially last decade, it went from what you consider a conservative talk radio station into one that became really more aligned with the mega wing of the Republican Party. I would say more on the far right of American politics. And I was wondering, maybe would this be an opportunity? I mean, you think back to way back. Bob Look, who's been on this program so many times. He used to be the morning show host on WSAU. Howard Gurnetsky used to be the morning show host on WSAU. I mean, these were not right-wing political figures by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But then they started going down the road further and further to the right, and ultimately they decided to go with, they had the current state representative, Pat Snyder. He was their morning show host for many years, so they went more political when Pat Snyder became the host there. And then after Pat left to run for office, they've gone even further down that rabbit hole with Meg Ellefson. So my thought was, where are they going to go from here? Is there going to be any sort of correction? Maybe go more to a mainstream, a Republican conservative voice in the mornings. Maybe bring on, again, I mentioned in the last segment that in the last election cycle, we had a candidate for state assembly that was running for the Republican nomination who could not get on WSAU. So he heard from another guest of ours that we do treat people fairly here, that we would have a discussion. He came on and we had multiple discussions. And but because WSAU decided his opponent in the Republican primary was the candidate they were going to support, so they were not even allowing this candidate to come on their airwaves and give his platform. So I was thinking, well, is there going to be an adjustment? Well, this morning we found out who the new morning show host at WSAU is going to be.
Okay, and who is it?
Well, if you heard our music run-in you should know. Chris Conley.
Oh boy.
Chris has been the number 2 guy with Meg doing, some talking news and all that stuff.
Yep.
And Chris announced today that he will be the new host of the WSAU Morning Show. And for folks who are wondering why Chris is the new host of the WSAU Morning Show, he put out a blog this morning and explains why he's the best man for the job. So, congratulations, Chris Conley. Congratulations on moving on up again. And
hopefully
my first thought, real quick, I would let you talk here because I've been talking. But my first thought is it means, in all likelihood, we're not going to see much of a change because he's been basically the programmer at WSAU for the last 2 decades. But so anybody thought maybe you would get more of a mainstream conservative point of view, I think will be disappointed.
Yeah. It will definitely not change too much when it comes to the formatting of the show. But again, congratulations. And I'm sure you get a lot of listeners. I'm sure you keep the show going.
And one thing I want to say as well is that I have no issue with another radio station having a conservative point of view. Obviously, we have more of a progressive point of view on this program. And I think it's a good thing to be able to have different points of view on the airways. But the thing that I would point out, I do think that I have a friend for many years who said so much is make-believe. And unfortunately, and I always said, no, it's not make-believe. And unfortunately, I found a lot more to say that is make-believe these days.
Yeah.
I want real conversation. I want real issues, and I want real battles of ideas. And I hope Mr. Conley, as he moves into the number 1 chair over at WSAU, also believes in that as well.
Me too.
Sunny skies, 72 degrees is the temperature here in downtown Wausau. Coming up, an information update, and then more with Pat Kreitlow. Mornings with Pat Kreitlow continues on 98.9 WXCO.